Setting your prices on Fiverr can get a bit tricky, especially when you first start out. You don't want to put a price that is way too expensive for what you're trying to give, and you don't want to sell yourself short. So there are many ways to calculate how much you should charge given the commission that Fiverr will take, the time it takes for you to deliver the service, and the value that you're putting in there. So I have some tools again to show you guys that will help you calculate your prices better. And if you're completely new to Fiverr, I will tell you how much Fiverr will take as commission and how you can best calculate your prices. So in the last lessons, we kept our current price starting at $5 based off what we saw in the market research section of the course. So if Fiverr is going to be either your primary or secondary source of income, you want to make sure that you're putting the right price so that it can cover the time that you're putting into your work, the tools that you're using, the value you're putting in there, and that it can help you pay your expenses. Now, a lot of people use Fiverr as a part-time role, but a lot of people fully rely on Fiverr to get steady income. So first, let's talk about time. I know we said in the gig that we're going to deliver the logo in 2 days, but there's actually a lot more that goes into that, and it's not going to be really told to the client. So I'm going to stick with graphic design for this lesson just because that's what we have as our gig. So designing a logo is going to need you to do some brainstorming, some research, communicating with the client, and some resources such as Adobe Illustrator, Photoshop, and so on and forth. So if you're saying that you're going to deliver in 2 days, how much of that 2 days is dedicated to this particular logo? In order to calculate that, you can try timing yourself every time you're working on this project and then use that as a reference when you're trying to, say, increase your prices or set your prices for another gig. So there are many tools out there that can help track your work for each project. One of my favorite tools is a mobile app called Toggle Track. It's right there, I believe. I think there's a web version too. But on the App Store, this is what it looks like. The great thing about this is that you get to have different projects, and then you are going to just start a timer on each of them separately. So it's not like the built-in clock application, but let me see if I can show you guys. So let's try using it for free. I'm going to make an account, and then I'm brought into this interface. So the way this works, this is also available on the mobile, I'm not sure if I mentioned that, is that you add a project, say logo for client B. We have some advanced option. If you're having a certain time frame, if you have a deadline, you can put it and just give it some additional stuff. There's different plans. Let's create our project. And then once I have my project, I'm going to just start the timer. So whether I'm brainstorming, thinking, sketching, editing, and all of that, I would want to have this timer go off. If you're taking breaks, make sure to turn this off, and that way you're not charging extra for your client without knowing. Once I stop my entry, it's going to show up right here. And then I can see how much time did I spend on logo for client B in the span of 2 weeks, 1 month, 2 days even. And then based off that, I can decide how much I want to charge for just the amount of time I'm putting in. So let's go to projects. And I could do multiple projects. So logo for client C, create project. And then I could just select it here. So now I want to switch to client C. Start my timer and see how much it takes. Using tools like this, you can get an average and try to set a by the hour rate based off the internet too. So that's for time. Next, we want to look at what stuff are we using, what programs are we using, and are we even paying for them? So if you're using the free version of Canva, say for your logos, you don't really need to charge extra for that program since it's free. But if you have an Adobe subscription and you're paying X amount every month for Photoshop, you want to make sure that the amount that you're taking from your client can cover that as well. Because if you undercharge, then you won't be able to pay for your Adobe program, and that's not going to be very helpful. So that was your time and your program. Next is the value that you provide. So if you've just started to design and you have, say, 5 months of experience, you obviously cannot charge as much as someone who's worked as a graphic designer for 10 years. So try to see what the minimum amount is for someone with your experience and your value, and then set your prices based off that. Now we can get into the Fiverr fees calculator. I have 4 websites here, plenty to choose from. Just as a general rule, Fiverr takes 20% commission when you first start. So if you're level 1, 20% of what you make will be going to Fiverr. As you upgrade, it does get less. You can see starts at 20%. And then when you get memberships, it kind of goes down. Bottom line, it's 9%. So the more you sell on Fiverr, the more clients you get, the less you have to pay in commissions. So I'm going to go here to finalfees.com/Fiverr. If I made $50 from this client and the tax rate differs from, and I'm not going to put a tax rate now, it differs on your country. You can see that Fiverr will take $10. And if you're getting the money with PayPal, PayPal is going to take 1.75. Tells us the profit, the margin, the return, and all that stuff. If you want to see if you're undercharging or overcharging, these calculators are great, and there's just tons of them out there. So $5 right now is suitable for me that's going to spend 2 hours on designing these logos with a Canva tool, and I am a complete beginner. $5 is perfect. As I get clients on this and I saw that I have, say, 10 people in my queue, they're all trying to get my gig, that is an indicator that I get to upgrade, because when you have clients, that adds to the value that you're providing. You're providing the experience you gathered from those projects. So if you've never had a client before, $5 is a great place to start. Once you start getting clients and you just have so many of them coming at you, you're kind of overwhelmed, then you can increase your prices. And it is just a gradual process, just as leveling up is. So the levels in Fiverr lets the buyers know how experienced you are on this particular platform. So it doesn't matter if you've had 10 years of experience. When you first sign up on Fiverr, you will start at level 0. And that is precisely what we have here, even though we have experience. So if you go to level overview, I just went to dashboard, level overview. We can see what I need to do in order to level up. So there is level 0, level 1, 2, and 3. And 3 is the top rated one. You can see the minimum requirements down below. You can compare the benefits. The higher level you are, the less competition you have to deal with, because Fiverr will just put you above everyone else automatically. You can find out more about the systems right here. So I need 5 success scores. If I click on them, it's going to... Now the success score that you see here relates to how many times you were able to deliver the stuff to the client successfully. So it's just about how many times you finished a project. If the client cancels halfway, that does not count towards your score. So in order for me to get to level 1, I need 5 successful clients to be eligible. The next metric is the rating they give you. So you finish the project, but is the client happy with what you've given them? So you're going to need a 4.4. Next is the response rate. This refers to how fast you respond to clients, whether it's via chat or email. I would highly suggest having Fiverr on your phone, turning on the notifications so you never miss a request from your clients, because as we can see, it matters a lot. You need a score of 80 for that to happen. The next one is your orders. So this is not really about whether the client liked it, whether it was successful. It's just about getting that order. So we only need 5 in order to qualify for level 1. And a great way to get started, because it's rather difficult to get those 5 orders, is to ask your friends and family to just come up here, put in an order, maybe write a review for you, and that way you're kind of getting your foot in the door and will be more visible towards actual clients. Now, those friends and families can, of course, be clients as well, but that is just a great way to get started with this whole competition that you're in. Now, if you have experience with your expertise, you can go ahead and ask your previous clients, the real clients, to come up here and write you a review. Now, they don't necessarily have to come in and buy something from you, but their review alone will help you a great amount. It will give you a rating, it will make your profile pop and appear more on those search results. So whether it's a friend or a family or an actual client, try to get as many people on your profile as possible. This one is for unique clients. So for buyers, you can't have the same person buying 5 times. You're going to need different people each time. Then finally, it's earnings. They have it listed here. And that is it. So 6 criteria that you need to focus on. Of course, it all comes to you with time, but it's good to have these in mind when you're responding to clients and performing your duties as a freelancer. So those were some tips on how to better price your services and how you can level up within Fiverr. Now, going forward, we're still going to be constantly talking about these 2 topics. This was just a general overview to bear in mind before we move on with the next lesson.